coat. Vocal dope in the boat. Eric Brick be the truth. That's why I get the.
Let's side by side, together as brothers. Can't nothing stop us. Nothing.
Crooks in the whole goddamn department.
These men right here, my detectives, we do things by the book.
Mr. the Madness, I'm living.
Drug war justifies a lot.
Mr. the Madness.
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Nines YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we are back with another TV show review, and we are back with We Own This City, Season 1, Episode 4, Part 4 review. Yeah, man, we are back, and we back with my man Wayne Jenkins, and to me, once again, John Bethroll, same way he did with that first episode, that impact, and just with his acting ability, he come in again and do it again, and he steal the show again with this episode, because this is basically a Wayne Jenkins centric episode. It's pretty much showing him climbing the ranks, doing whatever he has to do to pretty much get his collars or to make his arrest, and the manipulation. Like, it dives deep in just not only how much influence this guy had, but just how manipulative he was, and just how conniving he was, and just how dirty he really was, man. And it really dives into that. But not only that, it's showing just how people didn't really fear him, but as far as his fellow police officers, it was more of how much they looked up to him. I mean, everybody, whether it was the people that he had under him, or it was the people that you was having all these things and discussions as far as the legend of Wayne Jenkins, as far as all the collars all the arrests he had made, all the guns and drugs he had brought to the table. So everything as far as centric with this episode is just showing how, it's once again, John Bethroll, man. I feel like, bro, you playing this role a little too good. Just a little too good. But it's his performance, man, that he steal the show once again. But we start off this episode with Wayne Jenkins pretty much getting into a car chase, man. He finds himself pretty much in a situation where he's pretty much trying to make a traffic stop, but it turns into a car chase that turns deadly. And it's showing Wayne Jenkins using his authority to find whatever he needs to put reasoning behind the action he takes pursuing a suspect or coming after somebody, and planting evidence to make a case. Because the way this episode starts off it's like he's scoping out somebody, and he's like, yo, look at these cats. He's pretty much on that whole type of thing where you're looking at somebody, I forgot the words for it, man, but it's a situation where black people have to deal with constantly as far as dealing with police, especially when you see somebody walking around with a hoodie on, or you see somebody just in certain type of clothing, braids, dreads, all them type of things. But it's just with him. And to me, this scene is about him just trying to make a collar, him trying to make an arrest, him trying to keep racking up his stats so he can get moved more up the ranks and keep going up the ranks. And this situation ends up turning deadly, though, and he ends up going after these individuals who ended up running, but end up running to somebody else, ending up turning into a deadly car chase and turning into a deadly wreck. So it's really diving into him, just like I said, showing him supposedly having these little instincts and going after certain people, but showing just how the way he does things can turn the situation much worse than how it started off. But once again, just the look on his face, man, John Bethroll, and as far as his performance, just the look and expressions on his face, whether it's him driving a car, or whether it's him talking to other police officers or talking to suspects that he's trying to arrest or whatever, it's that performance, man. Well, once again, it's somebody that you love to hate, because I can't stand him, man. I do not, especially in this episode. This is a character, this is a portrayal that he just doing too good as far as John Bethroll, but I can't stand him in this, man. But going on from there, as far as John Bethrol's character Wayne Jenkins, and if I'm not mistaken, that was 2013, and the time jumps on this episode are going to be between 2013, 14, 15, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, we time jump back into what they're doing as far as what would be their present day as far as this show, which would be 2017. And we are back in the interrogation room again, and we got another interrogation of a new officer named Maurice, who was under Sergeant Wayne Jenkins at the time. And he goes into detailing the money they would steal, how Jenkins would manipulate evidence to frame suspects or plant evidence. He talks about how they just went with it basically how they were just going with it, saying, yo, I'm good with it. But this particular officer, as far as Maurice, he wasn't necessarily taking the money. He would take the money as far as when Wayne them, as far as the other officers would split up the money or whatever they getting, as far as whoever they taking it off of, a drug dealer or whether it's a regular civilian, they would basically dabby up the money and split it or whatever. But he was basically saying, as far as this officer, he wasn't taking his share. He would take it in front of them, but he wouldn't do nothing with it. He would either, in one sentence, they like, nigga, you really threw it away. He basically said he just threw the money in the woods or whatever. I don't know, man. But the way the episode ended, I'm guessing they trying to say that he was telling the truth. And the way he even explained it is kind of like, yeah, he telling the truth because he not denying the shit they was doing or whatever. He just basically saying he wasn't taking his cut or whatever. But he really goes into detail talking about things. And one thing specifically is him talking about how they just went with it because who was going to stop Wayne Jenkins? And that's once again John Brethrow's character as far as Wayne Jenkins. Like, this guy felt untouchable. He felt like nobody could mess with him. And this is why John Brethrow's character, the way he was, is the guy that felt untouchable in the way the show do. This is why this guy felt the way he did. And you could get away with anything. And even if he messed up on the streets, it was basically almost a promotion. And that almost goes back just to that first episode as far as the look on John Brethrow's face as far as Wayne Jenkins when he getting arrested or whatever, and when he's sitting in the interrogation room and he got that shark eyes as far as that dark that look of that dead look, like what you doing, what's going on? Like, I didn't do nothing, I didn't do anything wrong, I'm Wayne Jenkins, you know who I am, like, y'all can't do this to me. It's the fact that this guy been on the street so long, he been doing what he been doing so long, and the fact that instead of him getting in any type of trouble, they would promote him. In this episode in particular, like I said, it's about him going up the ranks, but they also showing how he make his arrest, plant evidence, stealing things, but it's just showing how he makes sergeant, and then he's still going up the ranks as far as the way into his introduction, as far as him being the man behind the gun trace task force, as far as being one of the, I'm guessing he was a supervisor or he was the guy over the other guys or whatever. I'm not sure if he was the supervisor like the guy last week as far as Tom, if he was playing that position, but it's just showing how he was going up the ladder, how other cops was looking up to him, how he was building his name, not only with other officers, but building his name with, as far as in the streets, whether it was a drug dealers or civilians, people were calling this man out by name because they just knew how bad he was, and as far as how just conniving and just sadistic he was as a police officer, man. The way it's like I said, specifically in this episode, and the way he going about things is just wild. Once again, I gotta keep putting emphasis on the fact of John Brethrow's performance of this character, Wayne Jenkins, man. The nigga just, the way he playing this role, all that charisma he got playing this role, it's crazy. It's triggering, but it's good at the same time because it's a good performance. Like I said, we're not getting nothing half-assed, and you know he went all the way in with this performance, specifically in that first episode and this episode, and we still got some more episodes to go, so it's depending on how much more he gonna do as far as moving forward with the other episodes. But other than him, like I said, this guy feeling untouchable, like I said, and the other officers making him feel untouchable, whether it's his superiors pretty much letting him do what he do, and whatever he do get in trouble, they not taking him off the streets, just similar to the other cop, Daniel Hurst or whatever, or these other cops that got complaints. They don't get pulled off the streets, and even in certain situations where they got cops lying, where there's under oath of situations they done been put in where they done made lie against civilians or made false arrests or other arrests, the fact is they don't get punished. That's the main thing, and that's the whole thing surrounding, really, I would say, not just with this show and these particular officers, being that this based in Baltimore, but think about so many other situations that have gone on around the world. Why do you think these certain officers feel the fact that they can do certain things? Even certain officers that be put on camera and they like, do what you gonna do, I don't care if you can't, they still go out their way to do what they do. And look how many times you done heard a not guilty plea, or these officers walking away from certain situations. It seems like certain things are starting to change, but I don't know, man. But it puts a lot of emphasis on that, especially especially behind that badge and feeling like you that authority figure and you got that power to do what you want to do. Because it's another thing too. Notice that it's a lot of black officers like doing whatever they doing. As far as the way they treat these civilians or whatever, it's a lot of black officers doing this shit. As far as the way they acting towards other people that look like them, they got that same skin color as them. So it ain't just this whole white thing. As far as police officers doing that, you see a lot of black officers in here doing the same thing they doing, and some of them can come off kind of worse. If you'd have seen in the previous episodes where you had them officers who are skin tone as far as black coming in doing what they doing, kind of just, it's just, to me, the authority thing. To me, it's the whole thing with having a badge and being a police officer, feeling like you can do whatever you want to do, and that's the way they portraying it in this show. That's what I want to say about that. As far as Nicole Steele, man, she's still out here just really the shock, man. She, ever since she came into the show, as far as even the first episode, and just the way she just can't understand the fact that all these police officers, or these certain police officers that she's been hearing about or whatever, are able to do what they doing. But not only that, the fact that certain officers have went up the ranks, or certain officers are still on the streets that have had over 50 complaints, like the one she had similar to Daniel Hurst, but it's more than him. The things she's still seeing, but it's not only that, she's still seeking out answers to the police chaos in Baltimore, and how so many police with criminal activity and bad rap sheets remain not only on duty, but out on the streets patrolling. And she's still dealing with that. But then you had a Freddie Gray situation coming in, because this is the 2015 time jump, and that's what we're dealing with still with her and what she has going on. Still talking to other police chiefs or whatever. She's still doing that in this episode. But a lot really comes into play when we get into the riots, and they actually show certain scenes dealing with the Freddie Gray riots. But man, like I said, when you see everything that's going on as far as the way these cops treat these people, man, on a daily basis, whether you a drug dealer or not, you a civilian. Like I said, you see how many times in previous episodes, or where they showing you how they pulling people over for no reason, making all these goofy arrests, but then they dropping the case, or they telling them if they sign this plea deal or whatever, they can go home or whatever. That whole thing. Then once you get to this whole Freddie Gray situation, it's the build-up, it's the hurt, the pain, going through everything they have seen in the whole build-up, dealing with these police officers on a daily basis, and then you see the situation where they end up killing somebody. And that's the thing, man. It's the way they go about it. It's talking about it so nonchalant, like it's not nothing. It's scenes in here where they are sitting around talking about the whole Freddie Gray situation, because it's the whole build-up with the riots or whatever. And it's like, fuck Freddie Gray, fuck these rioters. It's like you took a human life, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, because of either their skin tone, because you didn't like them, you took a human life, and it's that nonchalant attitude about it. It's not nothing. Let's just go on about our day, and let's keep it moving. But that's what you see as far as these rioters, man. In this scene in particular, and you have my man, once again, John Brenthal, coming in like he's Superman, giving speeches or whatever, and once again, that influence, having people wanting to come behind him and lead the charge, and that's what he pretty much doing. It's that, man, once again, the guy's playing the role a little too good for me. My bad, John Brenthal, but you was playing this role a little too good for me, man. But it's just that Superman charge, the man basically throwing on his cape, going out like he about to save the day against these people who are upset and angry, who are tired, basically, are just sick and tired, man. And it's just crazy seeing him come out there like he about to go out and do something. But it's really just seeing, like I said, Wayne Jenkins, the way he tries to lead into so many situations. It gives a full clearing just how powerful this guy thought he was, and his ego, and the way he looked at himself and other civilians. And that's one of the main things. We got Sean Suits, man. Shout out to my guy Jamie Hector coming in, Marlo. But he really just in a dilemma, man. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those people who, he's behind the badge, but he sees everything that's going on, and you could tell that he's dealing with some not turmoil, but more of like his conscience. He's dealing with fighting his conscience, because he's even been behind, you know what I'm saying, dealing with, as far as riding behind Wayne Jenkins, as far as John Bethral's character. It's been his guys in certain situations or whatever. And even in certain situations they've been in, he's probably done certain things with him. So it's really a scene with him just basically seeing everything that's going on and the fact that he is dealing with what am I going to do with this situation. The fact that I'm behind this badge where I see people that look like me and the fight that they are going through, and the fact that I'm sitting back here like on the other side of the badge. And it's a real good scene, man. It's a good scene, especially with just the expression on Jamie Hector's face. And I want to give him some credit with his acting ability too and everything he been doing. But it's a good scene, just like I said, showing just everything and the emotions he going through. And like I said, he got all these other fellow officers, them all charged up like they ready to go at these other riders, and him just looking at the situation like, damn, the shit is all around just fucked up. And you can tell that's how he really feeling about it or whatever. But like I said, man, just having my man come in like Superman, feeling like he could do anything and everything. This was a central episode really about him and his influence, and like I said, just what type of person this guy really thought he was and who he thought he could be in the city of Baltimore as a police officer. It's even a particular scene, man, where they are raiding somebody's house or they doing something after they made some type of arrest or something, but they are dealing with a safe, and they are pretty much broke into the safe, pretty much got the money out and did what they always do. Like I said, divvying up the money or whatever and splitting it or whatever. But it's what he ends up doing after they done that. Once again, it's that influence. Him leading the charge, telling everybody what they need to do. He ends up telling one of the officers to pull out a camera. And he says film them like they just now breaking into the safe. Basically showing that if it's anything inside the safe, they are filming it, showing that they didn't take anything out and they left everything inside. He even got a thing where he filming him talking on the phone or whatever, like, yeah, we found such and such, we doing everything by the books or whatever. Like, you just showing this guy, like, the manipulation with my man Wayne Jenkins. It's like I said, shout out to once again to John Brethrall's performance, but it's this whole thing with him, like, yo, we can do this, we can get away with this, let me show y'all, let me coach y'all, let me show y'all how to do this. Once again, just showing this guy feeling like he has that type of power and authority to do whatever he want to do and to do it too with whoever he want to do it to. They really went in deep as far as this episode and showing it. But other than that, man, like I said, this was definitely a Wayne Jenkins central episode, and it really focused on him majority, if not mainly all of the episode. It really focused on him a lot. But y'all let me know in the comment section, man, how y'all feeling about the season so far? How did y'all feel about this episode, especially this really surrounding and being really focused on John Brethrall's character, Wayne Jenkins? Let me know how y'all felt about it. Once again, this was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to the next episode. How many episodes is this? Is this 6 episodes? I think it might be 6, or maybe it's more. I hope it's a little bit more. I hope we're not about to be done. But y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about this recent episode. I know we had some couple more triggering moments, especially with my boy Wayne Jenkins as far as John Brethrall's character. But let me know how y'all felt about it. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This is the road to 500 subs. Make sure you hit that notification bell, let you know when I upload new videos. Other than that, man, yeah.
This is a dysfunctional police department with a culture that looks at accountability as a 4-letter word.
I told you weeks ago about a federal investigation.
There's always a rumor of a federal investigation. This shit never happens. It's Baltimore.
This shit been going on for
You said, look,
while.
ask me, do I want a problem?
No, I don't think you
I don't ever want a problem. But when they say they want a problem, I say, no problem. That's it.